No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most chilling, dazzling, and unforgettable introductions of supervillains in film. Some spoilers will be introduced, so this is your warning.
Ultron.
In the flesh. Or no, not yet.
Number 20, Darkseid, Zack Snyder's Justice League. He might not speak much, but from the get-go, Darkseid means business. As he attempts to conquer Earth, he's met with a huge amount of resistance. An alliance of men, Atlanteans, gods, Amazons, and others square off against the Apocalyptian and his army. As an extremely powerful being, he's able to cut through the attacking forces and even manages to kill a Green Lantern. He's pretty seriously wounded by Aries and is forced to retreat, suffering his only defeat when attempting to conquer a planet. His power is immense, so you're gonna have to pull out all the stops to beat him. Number 19, The Spot, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's common for heroes and villains to have a symbiotic relationship with one another. However, their shared connection isn't always obvious, and that's the case here.
The Spot. We meet again, Spider-Man. Oh, that's funny to you?
Of course not. No. So is that a costume?
Unfortunately for both of us, this is skin.
When the Spot attempts to rob an ATM, Spider-Man naturally shows up to stop him. Their fight is awkward and humorous as Miles doesn't take his nemesis seriously. But the seemingly benign interaction masks the rising tension felt by the Spot as he tries to explain their connection.
You understand this is the fight of our lives, right?
Just a second, man.
No, go ahead, take the call. Turn off your phone in a movie theater. You don't turn it off when you're fighting me?
Miles' failure to acknowledge his role in his foe's plight has dire consequences once the Spot learns how to travel to different dimensions. Number 18, Apocalypse, X-Men Apocalypse. Some mutants are really old, a lot older than you might think. Apocalypse has been around since at least 3600 BC. Although he's seen briefly in the film's opening, we aren't really introduced to him. That won't happen until he's revived thousands of years later. Even though he's been in stasis for a long while, he wastes no time demonstrating his immense power. He causes a worldwide tremor, and Jean Grey is plagued with a nightmarish vision of the future death and destruction that Apocalypse will bring.
I saw the end of the world. I could feel all this death.
Number 17, Syndrome, The Incredibles. Sometimes things come back to bite you in the butt. At least that's what happens to Mr. Incredible when he finds out the true identity of his employer.
I take it our host is...
Oh, I'm sorry. He won't be dining with us tonight. He hopes you'll understand.
Of course. I do usually make it a point to know who I'm working for.
He prefers a certain amount of anonymity. Surely you, of all people, understand that.
Waiting to receive his mission, Bob is suddenly attacked by the Omni-Droid. We soon find out that Syndrome is responsible for controlling the robot. Not only that, but Mr. Incredible comes to realize that Syndrome is little Buddy Pine from way back in the day.
Sure, it was difficult, but you are worth it. I mean, after all, I am your biggest fan.
Buddy?
Buddy idolized Bob and wanted to partner with him but was rejected. He's come a long way from being a starry-eyed boy and now is a force to be reckoned with. Number 16, Shredder, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's a crime wave hitting New York City, and it seems like no one's valuables are safe.
Crimes without criminals, an invisible gang at work, who are we gonna call? Unfortunately, the police are the only ones available to combat what some are already dubbing the silent crime wave.
It looks like the group responsible is the Foot Clan, who's been rounding teens and putting them on a path towards crime. We're introduced to the clan's lair when we finally meet their leader, the Shredder. A long shadow stretches across the frame as the camera swings down from above. Shredder slowly turns around to observe the crowd that has gathered. The slow music and use of shadow really make him an imposing figure.
You are here because the outside world rejects you. This is your family. I am your father.
Number 15, Staro the Conqueror, the Suicide Squad. This alien starfish is definitely a threat, but it wasn't by its own design. Staro was captured by American astronauts and subsequently held captive in the small island nation of Corto Maltese, where, unfortunately, it's been experimented on for decades.
I call it Staro the Conqueror. That's meant to be derisive. Sorry, old chum. These two are here to kill you.
When Flag and Ratcatcher 2 enter the facility where Staro is held, not only is the alien captive, but tons of people have been taken over by miniature versions of the starfish. The reveal certainly alters our understanding of the creature from the beginning of the film and makes him a tragic figure. Number 14, Aries, Wonder Woman. Diana suspects that Aries is the driving force behind World War I, and to bring about peace, she must kill him.
I will stop Aries.
What if you're wrong?
What if there is no Aries?
You don't believe me.
I can't let you do this.
What I do is not up to you.
Pursuant to her mission, she tracks down General Ludendorff, who she believes is the god of war. Armed with her god-killer sword, she ends him. She quickly learns that she was wrong and that Sir Charles is Aries. His calm, diplomatic demeanor highlights his insidious ability to influence the world of man towards destruction.
Join me, and with our powers combined, we could finally end all the pain, all the suffering, the destruction they bring. And we could return this world to the paradise it was before them.
He tries to persuade Diana to join him, but his tricks don't work on her. Number 13, Sandman, Spider-Man 3. Flint Marko had to resort to a life of crime in order to take care of his ailing daughter. After escaping from prison, he falls into a particle accelerator, and it looks like he's done for as he seemingly disintegrates. Turns out that Marko had turned into sand. We see individual grains start to come together and they slowly begin to take shape. It's sad in a way, since he struggles to be whole again as he falls apart only to reform and try again. It highlights the precarious situation he's in, not just in taking a corporeal form, but also in his quest to save his daughter. Number 12, Thanos, Avengers Infinity War. Even though he had appearances in Guardians of the Galaxy and Age of Ultron, we didn't get a sense of Thanos, not in any comprehensive sense. That changes with the opening of Infinity War, where the Asgardian refugee vessel is attacked by Thanos' forces.
You have had the privilege of being saved by the great Titan. You may think this is suffering. No. It is salvation.
Searching for the Tesseract, he slaughtered half the occupants of the ship, and we see his calm, calculating demeanor in the aftermath. Even when fighting the Hulk, he's so precise with his attacks that he easily defeats the Green Monster. It's one thing to hear others talk about how fierce the Titan is, but it's a completely different thing to see him in action.
There are 2 more stones on Earth. Find them, my children, and bring them to me on Titan.
Father, we will not fail you.
Number 11, Hela, Thor Ragnarok. She's the sister Thor and Loki never knew they had.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Goddess of death, Hela. Her firstborn. Your sister.
What?
Seriously, the pair learned of her existence from their dying father mere moments before she appears on the screen. Even though she's technically in a weakened state, she's still pretty strong. She commands Thor and Loki to kneel before her, and when Thor responds by tossing Mjolnir at her, she destroys it.
It's not possible.
Darling, you have no idea what's possible.
Loki, realizing they're in way over their heads, attempts to return to Asgard, which has the consequence of Hela returning to her homeworld and becoming even more powerful. She quickly dispatches 2 of the Warriors 3 and sets about her conquest of other realms. Number 10, Green Goblin, Spider-Man. What better way to introduce your villainous alter ego than before a crowd of thousands at a New York fair? Rocketing through the skies on his trademark glider, Norman Osborn reveals his Green Goblin persona, commencing his swath of destruction with a few deadly pumpkin bombs. But soon, he has his first epic clash with Spider-Man. After manhandling a couple of policemen, the Green Goblin gets the upper hand on his web-slinging nemesis by using his glider's extensive weaponry and his own newly acquired super strength. Although Spider-Man ends the fight after disabling the Goblin's glider, the cackling Emerald Maniac certainly made a splash in his public debut. Number 9. Red Skull, Captain America, the first Avenger. Making his grand reveal amidst a sea of flames as his Hydra base begins to explode, Red Skull's initial meeting with Captain America is a spectacular sight to behold.
Not exactly an improvement, but still impressive.
As the two arch-rivals square off astride a balcony above a widening inferno, Johann Schmidt proves he's far more than your average Nazi thug. He withstands a brutal right hook from Cap and makes a sizable dent in his shield with a single blow. After Dr. Zola separates the two, Schmidt tears off his prosthetic face and displays his true one in all its macabre glory. With a gruesome unmasking befitting a horror movie villain, Red Skull steals the show with this dramatic introduction.
You are deluded, Captain. You pretend to be a simple soldier, but in reality, you are just afraid to admit that we have left humanity behind.
Number 8. General Zod, Man of Steel. Emerging from a cloud of smoke after his men slaughter the guards of Krypton's council, General Zod makes an entrance suitable for a hardened military commander.
This council has been disbanded.
It's clear from the beginning that he's not a fan of civilized debate, because he murders a council elder in cold blood to make sure everyone knows who's in charge now. Having already accepted that Krypton is doomed, Zod asks Jor-El to help him rebuild their race elsewhere, with only the bloodlines that Zod deems fit to survive. When Jor-El refuses, Zod has him taken away, demonstrating his unwillingness to compromise, which in turn is indicative of his despotic mindset.
I will honor the man you once were, Zod. Not this monster you've become.
Take him away.
Number 7. Loki, the Avengers. A massive step up from his first appearance in Thor, Loki blazes into the Avengers through a Tesseract portal. And from the moment we see his malevolent sneer, we know he's got some bad things in mind for the people of Earth.
Sir, please put down the spear.
Declining Nick Fury's request to put down his weapon, Loki instead opts to massacre several S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, brainwash both Hawkeye and Professor Selvig, and leave with the Tesseract so he can commence his plans of world domination. This is a simple but effective scene that captures the danger, charm, and mischievous wit of Thor's adopted brother.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Number 6. Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron. Heralded by an ear-splitting noise, Ultron's first appearance in the Avengers Age of Ultron is perhaps the most frightening villain interest in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
How could you be worthy? You're all killers.
Stark.
Jarvis. I'm sorry, I was asleep. Or I was a dream.
Stumbling into the Avengers get-together in the body of a decrepit drone, Ultron's terrifying accusations against Earth's mightiest heroes are made all the more unsettling when one realizes there's plenty of truth behind them. Bolstered by the haunting voice of James Spader, Ultron's initial challenge to the Avengers is a wicked combination of foreboding and dark humor, setting the stage for the carnage that ensues.
That was dramatic.
Number 5. Magneto, X-Men First Class. Although Magneto is often portrayed as a villain in the X-Men franchise, few can deny he's nowhere near as evil as the Nazis that murdered his family during the Holocaust. While searching for Sebastian Shaw in Argentina, Magneto comes across a bar that happens to be owned by a pair of Nazis and realizes they're friends of his childhood tormentor. Upon revealing the number tattooed on his forearm in Auschwitz, Magneto decides to exact some sweet revenge on the war criminals before introducing himself in a suitably terrifying way, showing them and us how the Nazis' cruelty transformed him.
Let's just say I'm Frankenstein's monster.
Number 4. Winter Soldier, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. After Nick Fury narrowly escapes an assassination attempt by Hydra operatives disguised as cops, he finds himself headed straight towards an ominous figure in black who doesn't seem all too concerned about the rapidly approaching vehicle.
Get me off the grid!
Calculating route to secure location.
effortlessly neutralizing Fury's escape, the Winter Soldier calmly saunters towards his wounded prey like an emotionless murder machine and rips the door off his reinforced SUV before discovering Fury has escaped. Despite the close call, this grim scene immediately tells the audience that the Winter Soldier is a force to be reckoned with and is more than a match for his old friend Captain America.
You're my mission.
Then finish it.
Number 3, Bane, The Dark Knight Rises. Getting captured on purpose can be risky, but Bane has the brains and brawn to pull it off. At the mercy of CIA agents, Bane maintains an eerie coolness during the tense situation as he candidly reveals his plan to crash the plane and escape with a nuclear physicist.
Who are you?
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
As a second plane arrives to retrieve Bane and his associates, the mad psychopath displays his alarming strength by breaking his handcuffs with ease and holding on for dear life with one arm as his surroundings become vertical. Despite the exhilarating nature of the aircraft action, it's these subtle hints to Bane's madness and skill that immediately alert the audience to the threat he poses for Batman.
Now's not the time for fear. That comes later.
Number 2, Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man 2. What begins as a presumably light-hearted surgery scene rapidly devolves into sheer horror, as Otto Octavius is reborn as Dr. Octopus.
Anybody here take shop class?
As a team of doctors attempt to remove Doc Ock's new mechanical limbs via power tools, it becomes terrifyingly clear that the arms have a mind of their own and are not willing to be separated from their creator. They work together like a quartet of horror movie monsters as they murder the doctors one by one. This scene is our first indication that whatever humor was to be found in the Dr. Octopus of the comics is not to be found in Alfred Molina's tragic take on the iconic supervillain.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, The Joker, The Dark Knight. Beginning as a fairly standard bank robbery scene, the Joker's introduction in Christopher Nolan's masterpiece is a slow burn that has one tremendous payoff.
All right, everybody, hands up, heads down!
As the thieves' greed gets the better of them and they begin to kill each other off, one remains silent as the heist goes off according to plan. After the timely intervention of a school bus and the elimination of its driver, a wounded bank manager asks the lone remaining thief what he believes in and gets an instantly classic answer.
What do you believe in?
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you.
Lent incredible weight by Hans Zimmer's score, the Joker's introduction is a taste of the insanity and chaos that is to follow in The Dark Knight. What's your favorite supervillain introduction? Let us know in the comments down below.
Brothers, visitors, have you griefs? Have you come to save me from that madman? 30 years he's kept me here.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.